Hi there, here is Christina from Changing Parenting. And if you practice positive parenting and if you have a small child, 0 to 6, I specialize in this age group, you probably, like all parents around the world, sometimes question yourself, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing for my child? And let me tell you, I'm a mom. And even though I'm a positive parent educator, even though I help other parents, even though I know all the research out there about positive parenting and the advantages of positive parenting and how damaging punishments are, and all the disadvantages, short-term and long-term, of authoritarian parenting, even though I know that all those things rationally, as a mom, because I'm also only human, I also sometimes wonder, are all the people right? Are all the other people right? Because in society, what happens, most of us, we were raised with authoritarian parenting ourselves, right? So it's normal to very often question, like, when you see your child behaving in a certain way and you think to yourself, my parents would never allow this. My parents would never have allowed this. I would never have behaved like this to my parents, right? When your child, I don't know, say something like, I don't like you, mommy. You might be like, what the hell, you are so lucky. You are so lucky that I did this and that. You are so lucky that I do positive parenting. If you had my parents, you would never be allowed to talk like that. This is all normal things in your brain. First of all, because you're only human and you are feeling triggered by, what your child is saying, right? Because it's not about what happens to you. It's about how you interpret it, right? The emotions you attach to what happens to you. And that has a lot to do with how you grew up yourself, right? And all your life experiences. So you're also a person. So it's normal to be triggered by your child. And that's another conversation then about why are you getting triggered. But also because the way we were raised in the moment, so authoritarian parenting in the moment seems to work. It's true. It's the fastest way, right? It's so much easier to just, give a look to your child and be like, what? Tell that again. Say that again, or to be like, go to your room, or even to give a slap in the butt, right? These are all things that are so much easier, right? It solves the problem in the moment. Fear-based parenting is the fastest way to get your child to obey you, right? And if what you want is your child to obey you, definitely authoritarian parenting is the best way. But that's not what you want, right? Because children will just blindly obey. So when you force your child to do something because they fear you, they are not learning why what they did is wrong. They are not learning what to do the next time that they are feeling that way, right? And what is the appropriate way to deal with those emotions. They are not learning why the behavior is wrong. Instead, they are learning that you don't like that behavior and that if you find out, they will be in trouble, right? They are also learning that when these emotions that they are feeling are not okay and that they should not show those emotions, other people should not see those emotions, otherwise they will get in trouble. So either they learn to do the things behind your back, right? Because again, the problem is not the behavior. If you think back when you were a child, the way you were raised, right? Probably the worst thing that could happen for you was for your parents to find out, right? You could be in the worst problems ever, right? Maybe you were even like, I don't know, really big troubles that you really could use some help there, but you didn't even think of asking your parents for help. What you thought was like, my parents can never find out. Your parents finding out was in your brain worse than the situation you were in, where in fact that situation was much more dangerous. And now as a parent, you wish that if your child is in that situation that you were as a kid, that they come to you, right? So you need to make sure that for your child, the worst thing that can happen to them is not to come to you for help, right? Because you need to teach your child why the behavior, that the behavior itself is wrong and why. Not that the problem is that you find out about it, right? So I know that sometimes it feels like, what if everyone else is right? Because society wants retribution, right? Your child does something that society considers it's bad behavior and therefore they should be punished, right? The same way a criminal should go to jail. When in fact, you know, and all the research shows you that what your child needs is help dealing with their emotions in a healthy way. And I can assure you that the biggest danger is not that you support your child and teach them self-regulation skills and teach them the appropriate ways to deal with their behavior and teach them why the behavior is not good for them, for society, for whatever, why the behavior is wrong and what to do instead in response to those wants, needs, emotions that are all part of being human. That will not be the biggest danger that you're supporting your child. The biggest danger, and especially in this small, in this early age, 0 to 6, the biggest danger is that you start practicing authoritarian parenting, start punishing your child, start seeing that immediately it works, right? It works in the sense that it's not really working, but it appears to be working because you get compliance, you get obedience. Your child immediately does what you want them to do, what you say they have to do. Again, not because they understand why they have to do it, but because they fear you. But in that moment, you get what you need. So that false sense of it's working, that's the biggest danger. Because by the time you find out that it's not working and that it's only making things so much worse, your child will already be much bigger, will all be much older, with a different brain. Because right now your child still thinks you're the greatest thing in the universe, right? They still want they still come to you to share what they did. They still come to you for comfort. They still think you're the best thing alive, right? But when they are 13, 14, 16, it won't be like that anymore, right? And it will be much harder to undo all the things you were doing than now as the kids. So the biggest danger is not that you're supporting your child emotionally and teaching your child self-regulation skills now in this early age. The biggest danger is that you mistaken punishments and all the obedience, that you mistaken the obedience and compliance you get from your child from authoritarian parenting, by practicing authoritarian parenting, that you mistaken that by successful parenting, and by the time you realize that it was not, it's then much, much harder. So that's the biggest danger. So if you are questioning yourself, is positive parenting the way? I can assure you all the research, the American Academy of Pediatrics and many other institutions recommend positive parenting. All the research supports positive parenting. And even though it's so hard, because in this early age, and especially up to the age of 3, I would say, that's even worse. Because you're putting all this effort and you're really, helping your child self-regulate and all that. And because they, especially up to the age of 3, they still lack really a lot of their ability to rationalize and to express things in a rational way, it feels like you're doing things and you're not seeing the results. But I can guarantee you, the older your child gets, the more results you will see. And the more you do it, the easier it will get, and the easier it will be also for your child. And you're giving your child, you're not just dealing with, because all challenging behavior is your child having these needs, wants, and feelings that need guidance. And every time you're guiding them, you're not just dealing with the problem in the moment, you're giving them these amazing life skills that will help them throughout their whole lives. If you need help, check out changingparenting.com.